Hello there. If you have a Scrum Master interview coming up shortly, then this is the video for you. This is the third chapter in the Scrum Master interview question video series. In this video, we will cover the top 9 questions on Scrum Ceremonies. Subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you would be notified when new videos in this series are released. Okay, let's get started. We have covered the top 9 questions on Scrum basics in the first chapter and Scrum roles and responsibilities in the second one. If you have not gone through them yet, you can use the links in the description box to check it out. A quick recap of our case study used earlier. The New York-based IT firm was experiencing difficulties with one of their projects, which involved the development of a new food ordering app for their client Vegan Gardens. Despite several months of effort, the project had failed to deliver a working software in accordance with the client's specifications. In an effort to turn the project around, the company decided to switch to Scrum framework. Let us use this as a premise and see from our interview questions how the Scrum Master and Scrum team were able to develop and deliver a successful food ordering app which met all the client requirements with the distributed team. Let us begin with the chapter 3. Questions on Scrum Ceremonies. Question number 19. What is the purpose of the sprint planning meeting and what is your role as a Scrum Master during the ceremony? The purpose of the sprint planning meeting is to plan the upcoming sprint, including identification of the sprint goals, selecting items for the product backlog, and estimating the effort required to complete the selected items. As a Scrum Master for a food ordering app development project, my role during the sprint planning meeting would be to facilitate the collaboration and communication between the development team and the product owner. During the meeting, the team would work together to determine the scope of the next sprint, which in this example could be to focus on the development of the browse feature. First, the product owner would present the goal for the sprint, which in this case would be to build the functionality for users to browse the menu and place an order for food delivery. The development team would then ask questions to clarify any requirements and to ensure that they have a clear understanding of what needs to be done. Next, the development team would work with the product owner to break down the sprint goal into smaller, manageable user stories, if not already done so in the backlog refinement sessions, which we will cover further in this video. For example, the business analyst in the team would create a user story for searching the menu by categories such as breakfast, lunch or dinner, and another user story for allowing users to filter their search results by food type such as vegetarian or gluten-free options. Once the user stories have been identified, the development team would then estimate the effort required to complete each story. The team would also identify any technical challenges that might arise during the sprint and discuss how they would be addressed. As a Scrum Master, I would facilitate this process by keeping the meeting organized and on track. I would help to ensure that all team members have an opportunity to contribute their ideas and perspectives. I would also work to resolve any conflicts that might arise between the team members and ensure that everyone is on the same page about the scope and objectives of the sprint. Overall, the goal of the sprint planning meeting is to ensure that the development team has a clear understanding of the work that needs to be done and is aligned on the steps that will be taken to achieve the sprint goal. As the Scrum Master, my role is to facilitate this process and ensure that the meeting runs smoothly and effectively. Question number 20. What are the techniques for estimation used in Scrum? The most common estimation technique used in Scrum is planning poker. This is a consensus-based technique where team members use cards or virtual tools to establish the size of the work items, which is an agile approach to estimating and prioritizing tasks. Other techniques include affinity estimating. This is where team members group similar work items together and estimate the size of the entire group. Fist of 5. This is where each team member shows a number of fingers to represent their estimate and the group reaches a consensus based on the majority vote. T-shirt sizing. This is where work items are assigned a size such as XS, S, M, L or XL based on their relative size and complexity. Ideal days. This is where team members estimate the number of ideal work days required to complete a work item, taking into account all necessary activities. As the Scrum Master, your role during the estimation is to facilitate the estimation process and to ensure that the team has a shared understanding of the work items and the estimation process being used. The goal of the estimation in Scrum is to reach a shared understanding of the relative effort required to complete a user story. The goal is not to achieve a highly accurate estimate, but rather to have an estimate that is good enough to make informed decisions and plan sprints effectively. In case of user story, user should be able to click on a food item and add it to the cart. The team would use planning poker and go through following steps. Each team member is given a set of planning poker cards with numerical values, usually starting from 0 and going up in increments of 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 and so on. The Scrum Master or the product owner reads the user story and the team discusses it to understand the requirements and identify any dependencies or risks. Each team member then privately selects the card that represents the estimate they think is appropriate based on their understanding of the story. The team members then reveal their card simultaneously and discuss any differences in their estimates. If there is an agreement, the team moves on to the next story. If there are differences, the team discusses the reasons behind the estimates and reaches consensus. In case of food ordering app, if the team members estimated 8, 13 and the majority selected 13, then the consensus is to go with 13. The estimated value is recorded and used to help the team plan and prioritize their work. By using planning poker, the Scrum team can ensure that they have a common understanding of the effort required for each user story and that everyone has a voice in the estimation process. Question number 21. What is the purpose of the Daily Scrum and what is your role as a Scrum Master during the ceremony? The Daily Scrum is a daily stand-up meeting where team members provide a quick update on their progress and raise any issues or obstacles to the rest of the team and the Scrum Master. The purpose is to synchronize the team's work, improve communication and collaboration, and identify and remove any obstacles to the progress. As the Scrum Master, the role during the Daily Scrum is to facilitate the meeting, ensure that it stays focused and within the time box, and helps the team identify and remove any obstacles that are blocking their progress. The Scrum Master should not control the content of the meeting, but rather facilitate the team members to discuss and collaborate on their own. The Daily Scrum is an opportunity for the development team to self-organize and create a plan for the next 24 hours to achieve the sprint goal. Question number 22. What is the purpose of the sprint review meeting and what is your role as a Scrum Master during the ceremony? The purpose of the sprint review meeting is to inspect the work that was completed during the sprint and to adjust the product backlog if necessary. The sprint review provides transparency and helps the team, stakeholders and customers collaborate and align on the progress. During the sprint review meeting for the food ordering app, the development team would present their progress on the browse feature, which might include showcasing the browse by search functionality, the browse by category grouping, and the user navigation. The purpose of the sprint review meeting is to demonstrate the completed work to the stakeholders and gather feedback so they can adjust future sprint goals accordingly. As the Scrum Master, your role during this ceremony would be to facilitate the review meeting, ensuring that the team has a clear understanding of what they will be presenting and that the stakeholders have a clear understanding of the product being demonstrated. You would also be responsible for creating a collaborative environment that encourages open and honest communication between the team and the stakeholders. You would help to keep the meeting on track, making sure that everyone has the opportunity to speak and that feedback is being captured and documented. Additionally, you would help to ensure that the meeting is focused on the product increment and that any discussion remains relevant to the sprint review purpose. Question number 23. What is the purpose of the Sprint Retrospective meeting and what is your role as a Scrum Master during the ceremony? The purpose of the Sprint Retrospective meeting is to allow the Scrum team to reflect on the just completed sprint and identify ways to improve their way of working. The goal is to create a culture of continuous improvement within the team. During the Sprint Retrospective meetings, the Scrum Master has several key roles to play. Facilitate the meeting. The Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring that the meeting runs smoothly and that all team members have an opportunity to voice their thoughts and opinions. Capture what went well and what didn't go well. The Scrum Master should help the team capture what went well during the sprint, such as good collaboration between team members. Additionally, the Scrum Master should also capture what did not go well, such as issues with external teams like the mobile framework team dependencies. Log points for improvements. The Scrum Master should log all the points identified for improvement and ensure that they are tracked and incorporated into the next sprint. Ensure follow-on actions. The Scrum Master should follow up on the actions identified in the retrospective meeting and ensure that they are incorporated into the next sprint. For example, in the case of food ordering app, if the team identified that collaboration was good between team members during the development of the browse feature, this should be noted and celebrated. On the other hand, if the team faced issues with external teams like the mobile framework team, this should also be noted and a plan for improvement should be developed for the next sprint. The Scrum Master should log these points for improvement and ensure that the team incorporates them into their next sprint. So during the next retrospective, Scrum Master can check whether those action items were implemented and followed up. Question number 24. What is the purpose of the Backlog Refinement meeting and what is your role as a Scrum Master during the ceremony? The purpose of the Backlog Refinement meeting, also known as Backlog Grooming, is to regularly review and update the product backlog, ensuring that it is refined, prioritized, and ready for the upcoming sprints. During this meeting, the team will review the product backlog items, clarify requirements, and make any necessary updates to ensure that the items are well understood and ready for deployment. Let's take the example of a user story in the order feature. As a user, I want to be able to view my order history so that I can keep track of past orders. During the Backlog Refinement meeting, the Scrum Master's role would be to facilitate the discussion between the development team and the product owner about the details of this user story. Scrum Master would start by ensuring that everyone has a clear understanding of what the user story means and what it entails to. Then the team would discuss how to break down the user story into smaller, more manageable tasks. For example, the team might decide to first build a database to store the user's order history, then create a user interface to display the information, and finally integrate this functionality into the main application. The Scrum Master would also ensure that the team is considering any technical challenge that might arise, such as data security and privacy concerns, and that they are being addressed. During the meeting, the Scrum Master would also ensure that the team is updating the product backlog with the refined user story and its tasks. Finally, the Scrum Master would help the team prioritize the tasks and ensure that they are ready to be taken on to the next sprint. By facilitating the backlog refinement meeting, the Scrum Master is playing a crucial role in helping the team ensure that the product backlog is clear, concise, and ready to be worked on in the next sprint. Question number 25. How do Scrum Ceremonies contribute to the success of the project? Scrum Ceremonies play a crucial role in the success of a project by fostering regular communication, promoting accountability, and providing structure for continuous improvement. The ceremonies provide opportunities for the team to reflect their work, plan for the next sprint, and identify areas of improvement. This helps the team stay focused, aligned, and motivated towards the project's goals, leading to better outcomes and increased success. The Scrum Ceremonies include daily stand-up meetings, sprint planning, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. Question number 26. How does the team handle the daily Scrum ceremony while working in different time zones? In the given case study, the large IT company had a distributed team with members located in different geographic locations such as New York, San Francisco, London, and Bangalore, which resulted in time zone differences. To handle these challenges, the Scrum Master facilitated the daily Scrum ceremony using video conferencing and collaboration tools to ensure that everyone was on the same page and that work was progressing as planned. The team was able to communicate and coordinate effectively, which allowed them to deliver working software incrementally and make necessary adjustments as the project progressed. By using technology and clear communication channels, the team was able to overcome the time zone differences and hold successful daily Scrum ceremonies, contributing to the success of the project. Question number 27. What is Scrum of Scrums? Scrum of Scrums or SOS is an approach to scale Agile and Scrum to manage large complex projects that involve multiple Scrum teams. It is a coordination mechanism that enables multiple Scrum teams to work together effectively by allowing representatives from each team to come together regularly to share their progresses, challenges, and interdependencies. The Scrum of Scrums helps to align the efforts of different teams and ensure that their work is integrated and consistent, enabling the entire project to progress smoothly and effectively. It also provides a forum for discussing cross-team dependencies and risks and helps teams identify and resolve issues that could impact the project as a whole. In the given case study of a large IT company developing a food ordering app with a distributed team, let us assume that Scrum Team 1 is responsible for developing the browse and order features for food ordering app, while Scrum Team 2 is responsible for developing the payment feature, including online banking and credit card payment options. In order to ensure that these features are integrated seamlessly, Scrum Team 1 and 2 would participate in the Scrum of Scrums ceremony. During SOS, the Scrum Master from each team would come together to discuss and coordinate their work. For example, the Scrum Master from Scrum Team 1 would explain the progress made by the browse and order features and any dependencies or blockers that might impact Scrum Team 2's work on the payment feature. Similarly, the Scrum Master from Scrum Team 2 would explain the progress made on the payment feature and any dependencies or blockers that might impact Scrum Team 1's work. The Scrum Master from each team would take notes on the discussion, tracking any dependencies and ensuring that they are addressed in a timely manner. This would help to prevent any delays or roadblocks that might otherwise impact the overall delivery of the food ordering app. In summary, the Scrum of Scrums ceremony is an important way for Scrum teams to coordinate their work, avoid delays and roadblocks, and ensure that the overall project is moving forward as smoothly as possible.